Anyway, guys, I thought I'd just say a little welcome to everybody who might be watching tonight to explain why I'm not doing the piano tonight. I just cannot get this sound right on the piano, so I'm having to give that up for a short time. Go to Spain next week, so a little bit of a time to experiment with the piano out there to see if I can make some improvement. In which case, I should be coming back online to do some piano and then uh, resume service as soon as possible. But at the moment, it just doesn't seem worth it because I'm getting this terrible kind of stilted sound to my piano. It just doesn't sound right. So we're having to have a little rethink about that. Be nice weather down here. Hope the weather where you are is good. And I don't know whether Jim is listening tonight, but Jim, I hope you're all well. And I gather that Rob's coming home, so that's good news. That's really good news. I'm pleased to hear that. Um, just sitting in the end of my garden here, and the garden is looking absolutely superb. I have a gardener called Paul. I don't know whether Paul's listening tonight, but if you are, Paul, you're doing a great job getting my garden really nice. And they've got some lovely plants, and the lawn is looking fantastic. So, yeah, very happy with the garden. It's lovely in the spring sitting here with all these spring flowers. Very, very nice, very pleasant it is. What's also pleasant is the incredibly lucky family I've got, a beautiful family, all big boys grown up now. They don't need their old grandpa that much, I'm afraid, anymore. But it's nice to be out with them all. Now we've got any comments coming up. I just check this. How do you get comments to come up? I'm sure. Got some comments. No. Don't bother with a sticker. No, I bother with that. How do you get comments to come up here? Oh, there's no comments. No comments up here. Anybody listening? I've been on for 2 minutes talking to myself. What a funny world it is, eh? When you're down there talking to yourself down the end of the garden. I've got a nice little chimney going here with the logs burning away, so it's all very pleasant. I've got a ton of logs from my neighbour. He chopped a couple of trees down in his garden. Hello there. Yeah, good. That's the duck. Funny name. Yeah, well, as I was saying, I got an awful lot of logs from my neighbour. Cut his tree down, which was kind of very kind of him to give the logs. But I would have been most grateful if he hadn't chopped the tree down and taken down my internet line while he was at it. Because when he chopped the tree down, he took my fibre cable down. I had no internet for 2 weeks. Yeah. How's things with you anyway, Ducky? Going well? Hope you've had a nice day. Very nice weather here. I'm rather hoping we might get some more rain because, it does do my garden good. Very nice for everybody else, of course, to have some lovely weather. Lucky yesterday, actually, we went to the May Fair in our local town, and that was absolutely fantastic. Many crowds out. Tim Vine was there as well. Tim Vine, you might know, is a comedian, very funny man. They had the May Queen, and they had a procession, and they had a lot of vintage cars going down the street, and they had lots of stalls. And I was in charge of one of the stalls, actually. I'll send you a photograph of that too, where I was in charge of a beer tent, which is rather like putting King Herod in charge of a baby competition. But there we are. Made an awful lot of money. Mhm. I don't actually smoke these things. It's just I like the smell. And a very kind fan gave me this while I was in America. So it's the first time I've had a chance to smoke this. But whoever gave that to me, I'm most grateful. Uh, Absolutely lovely smell. I don't know whether you can get a whiff of this, but it's really classy. Bit of cigar this is, but a very dangerous thing to do. So don't take any of that into your body at all. Um, yeah, you put you question mark. Okay, I was explaining earlier on why I'm just doing a little talk tonight instead of playing the piano. I can't get my piano to sound right, and I'm playing all these lovely tunes, and you're not really getting the benefit, I'm afraid. Hey, Freya. Got a couple more people coming in. Freya, where are you based? Huh? It just says this. Yeah, lovely. How's the smoking taste? Well, See, I try not to taste it because it's very dangerous. You get all sorts of cancers off these ghastly things, but the smell is just heavenly, and I do like the smell, and I'll puff away in this nice little lodge that I've got here without annoying anybody else, and without smelling my house out. So that's all coming on very nicely. Um, Smoke and taste like. Well, if you haven't tried it, it's difficult to explain, really. Um, I don't know what they put in these things. But I'm sure they put more than tobacco in cigars, you know. Yeah, it does really taste more like a drug, really, than tobacco. Um, but yeah, give it a try sometime. But the smell is just heavenly, really, really nice. Um, in Ohio. Now we are coming to Ohio in June. Is Chicago in Ohio? Because we're coming to Chicago and we're doing a couple of gigs there. Uh, and Milwaukee. Milwaukee, where is that at? Milwaukee. That's near you, isn't it? Maybe you can get to see us when we come down there. I'm guessing Jimmy Savile. Yeah, yep, yeah, Jimmy Savile. Thank you. I hope I don't. I might look like Jimmy Savile, but I hope I'm not like him. He had a very bad life, didn't he? Very bad guy. And the fire, and it. What's that? Heavy. Hey, that's the thing you put in your ear, light it on fire, and it cleans it. Yeah. Yeah, you're thinking of that Bob Newhart thing, aren't you? Where he takes off Walter Raleigh, bringing tobacco back from America for the first time, and trying to explain to Queen Elizabeth I what smoking is all about. It's a very funny sketch. That is a classic, and it's gone down in history as one of the funniest things that was ever recorded. Did you ever hear that other one he did? Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at Camp Granada. That's a funny record, isn't it? And who knows what classical piece that is? I do believe it's a Pas de Fleur, something by Delibes. I think it's do 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 la do 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 do, something like that, isn't it? Just had a message in from one of my guys up in London. We got flat up in London, and he's panicking about the old cracks that are in the wall, and it is a serious worry that because if we're talking about underpinning, you are talking about an awful lot of money, and I can guarantee that the insurance company won't pay for it. So we're hoping the cracks don't get any worse. But we have got some serious cracks down our building, which is about 200 years old. Um, and they've got 8 flats in this building in London, and we do hope it doesn't get any worse. Now, coming back to the piano, does anybody there play the piano? I mean, I do my best to play by ear, but I do play from notes as well sometimes. Uh, Hello, Peter Scott. Peter Scott Burridge. Do you remember Peter Scott? He was a naturalist, wasn't he? He studied birds and things. He wrote an awful lot back in the day. Did old Peter Scott. He was very well known, but Scott's your middle name, I guess. Um, where do you live, Peter? Do you live in America as well? Because if you do, get your tickets now. I hope you come along. I gather the tickets are going pretty well for America, but obviously the promoters get a little bit panicky now because we've just got a few weeks to go before we go. And he's thinking, well, maybe the tickets ought to be selling a bit faster now. Um, but I've had this all before. We've had it all before. They all panic and think, oh, the tickets aren't going quick enough. And then when you get to the actual gig, it's a bloody sellout. We had this in Helsinki recently. We were in Finland, and they said, "Oh, the ticket's very slow, very slow." And, we're getting very worried. So, oh my God, we're going to have a gig which is a bit sparse because it's difficult to get the audience going if it's half empty. Not that we've ever had one that's half empty. We've had some pretty big locations where it hasn't actually been full right to the back, but that's when you get a big hall. It'll take about 1,500 people. Well, you can't expect to sell 1,500 tickets, can you? Yeah, so we get to Helsinki, and the balcony is absolutely rammed, as well as the stalls, whatever you call the stalls down the bottom there. Oh, Britain, Germany. Did we see you, Peter, when we came to Germany? We were in Berlin a couple of times, and we got some talk that we're supposed to be coming out to four cities in Germany in October. I think November, actually. November. Oh, it was at Brunswick. Wasn't that a nice place? I tell you, Brunswick was much nicer than Berlin. I sorry if you're from Berlin, but Brunswick was absolutely lovely. Went there when I was 14 years old. Yeah, it's gone out. Yeah, went there when I was 14. Um, what we used to do was to do some exchange visits with German students. So I'd go and stay at their house for a couple of weeks, and then their boy would come back to us, stay for a couple of weeks, and the idea that he learned English and I learned German. Um, I stayed with a family in Brunswick. He was a builder. This the family, the father of the family, and he built the block of flats that he was living in, and um, obviously he'd done quite well after the war because the poor place was knocked about a bit by the RAF. So he had made his fortune by getting Brunswick built again. All very sad. And we had dinner one night, and it was quite a sad moment. Uh, and we had this meal, and he wanted to pour his heart out to me. Well, of course, I was only 14 at the time, but he wanted to speak to an English person to say, "Wir wollen kein Krieg mehr," he kept saying, "Wir wollen kein Krieg mehr. Wir wollen kein Krieg mehr." We don't want any more war. Well, of course, nobody wants any more war. And there we got a bloody maniac in the east, Putin bombing everybody, and then we got another maniac now, and we got the other side starting war with Iran. What a terrible world it is, isn't it? Yeah. Not spilling the tea with you all after the show. Yeah, I remember it now, Peter. Yeah, very nice to talk to you again. Yeah. Wristwatch check. Yeah, wristwatch check. I saw another wristwatch recently. I think this is a bloody good watch. This is a Breitling, and I thought I'd really like to splash out after we get the money for our American tour, which is going to be quite a lot. I'm going to buy myself a top of the range Breitling, solid gold. Now I find that all the top of the range Breitlings in gold have got dumb little three little dials within the actual main dial. I suppose it's a stopwatch. You got buttons on the outside. What bloody use is that? The one I saw is 38,000 euros, and it doesn't even have the day on it. Well, surely the day is a bit more use than the stopwatch, because you'd hardly ever use a stopwatch, and if you did, you might as well just use the second hand, surely, or you could use your phone. Yeah, Brightonings are nice. Not sure I'd want one in gold. Why not? Now tell me about this, because do you think that look a bit flash? You might be right, dear. Yeah, you're going to have a massive, heavy gold watch on your wrist and everything. Oh, God, what a plonker. Look at that. Look at that show off kit. Maybe. Could be right there. Yeah. Reason. Amiga Speed has a stopwatch and no date. Supposed to be a tool. So that's the same then. So the Amiga, yeah, well, that's no use. Well, to use a stopwatch, you hardly ever use a stopwatch, but you look at your watch every day to find out what day it is, surely. Gold heavy to start with. Brightening sporty brand. Yeah, well, I'm not a very sporty person, to be honest. I never was very good at sport, and people keep asking me, "Oh, what football team do you support?" I don't support any football team. I had a louts all queuing around and yelling at each other. It's just not for me, I'm afraid. I've tried over the years to get interested in football, but it just doesn't happen. Well, then you got golf, haven't you? Well, now if I was to play golf where I live round here, there's got to be 5 golf courses. I don't know how they'll stay in business. One of them actually turned itself into a country club. So, of course, that's rather nice. Then you got the RAC club, which is blood posh. Then nearby, you got, of course, where Lloyd George used to, the Chrono. So, watch astronauts war on the moon. That's kind of cool fact. So, what's a Chrono? That is a Breitling, is it? Oh, okay. So, if anybody's got knows about a Breitling that's got a date on it, top of the range, Breitling. All I want is a date on it. I don't want to have all these little dumb little dials on it. Hi from Scotland to everyone. Yeah, that's nice. Well, that's nice to hear from you, Jeff. Uh, look out for us in October, Glasgow, would you? We're coming to Glasgow. We've done Glasgow before, actually, and it was very, very nice. Did Edinburgh last autumn. Yeah, that was brilliant as well. That was the tail end of the festival, actually. Tail end of the festival, brilliant. It was really good fun. We had a hell of a laugh there. My wife came up with me on that particular gig. She doesn't normally come along to gigs because, frankly, there's not a lot of point. Usually, we get to a gig, we rush back to the hotel, we have a sleep, we get up the next day, we bomb off to the next gig, we do the gig, we go to the hotel, we have a sleep, then we bomb off to the next gig. So really, not a lot of point in my wife coming along with me. Airdrie, I don't even know where Airdrie is. I'm guessing it's further up north, quite a bit up north. Is that right? It's is it as far as what's that oil place up there? Yeah, Airdrie. No, don't know it. I'm afraid. Went to Oban once. Oban, that was very nice. Oban. Shortly after I got married, and I went up there with a broken wrist. I just broke my wrist because I did a bit of hang gliding. I hit a hill. Oh, it's next to Glasgow. Oh, well, it won't be too far for you to come and join us then, will it? Maybe you could come along and see us. I've got another message from somebody here which says this message is held for review. So I wonder what he said. Something a bit sexy, maybe. Yeah, does make you wonder. Fairly new to this live thing, and I started doing the piano on Sunday evenings because people did enjoy listening to a few cocktail type tunes. But in actual fact, I've had an awful lot of problems with it lately, and I'm needing the help from anybody who's out there who can tell me why is the live clipping the sound of the piano. Some nights when I've tried it, my voice would come out like it is now, and the piano is completely silent. I just do not understand how um, YouTube could cut out the piano sound altogether. So the voice was coming out fine, and the piano wasn't coming out at all. So I've had awful trouble with that. Um, now I'm off to Spain next week. So what I'm going to do, I've got to go to the shop which has got my piano in it for repair. It's been repaired. I'll get it back. I'll get it all sorted out. It's an electronic piano. Sound quite nice. Roland, top of the range Roland. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kit that up with all the sound attached to talking to you lot. Um, and we'll get right back to you in just a moment. Um, right. So message health review. I wonder who that is. Yeah, message health review. Yeah, well, he mustn't say anything naughty. I guess that's probably why it's got blocked. But I've had quite a few nice comments, but I haven't actually had anybody who can tell me how to get over this problem with the whoops with the piano. Sorry about this. Not me phone off. I'll put it down there. That's better. Yeah. There we go. There we go. I'd be like with Coke. Actually, this is obviously going to America with me. Um, they thought that was quite good. But Coca-Cola hat apparently is quite valuable. I don't know why, but it's a vintage hat, which has quite a lot of value to it. Um, the other thing, American, I got to tell you today is that I went with my grandsons to a restaurant called the Smith and Western, which is a Western style place with beautiful ribs. We had steaks, we had hamburgers, and all sorts of American type food. We roasted corn and coleslaw and beers. It was really good. So you're a bit short of really good restaurants around here. Um, some of the ones that are really good are very expensive, but suppose you get what you pay for, don't you? Right. I've got to get back to Pete in just a minute, so I'm going to have to phone off in a minute. But we got anybody else got any other subjects they want to cover before we say night night? I'll just check with. Love this Sunday, Sesh. I hope you beat the grammar. Yes, I do hope so too, Peter. I shall keep working at that and cover some tunes. And if you've got any requests you got, just let me know. Been playing the piano, of course, since I was 8, so I'm getting quite good at it. So I started playing the piano in a pub when I was 16 years old. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, 16 years old. I was doing 3 nights residency in a pub at the same time as Elton John, who's exactly the same age as me. So we both learned our trade fairly early in life, and he went on to become a multi-millionaire, and that was that. So unfortunately, I'm still trying to catch him up, but we're working on it. Uh, what I'll do next Sunday, we'll have another little go on the piano, and I'd really welcome your comments straight away to say, is it coming through or not? Because if it's not coming through, it's not nice for you to listen to, and I'll be wasting my time. So I hope that you will definitely let me know if it's not coming through nice. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now. I'm pleased you like the hat. There's Dustin. A collaboration with Elton John, yeah. He's getting a fat old queen these days, isn't he? I think he's more or less retired, and is he doing much? The lesson I learnt from Elton John, by the way, is that I went to one of his concerts once, and he comes on stage, tonks out his numbers, and clears off again. And I thought, well, when we do our shows, we try to give a little bit of ourselves back to the audience because they haven't come to see the songs, just see the songs. They've come along to find a bit about ourselves because you might as well just turn the YouTube on and listen to the songs yourself. You don't need to come along to a show. What you have is true wealth. Yeah, that is true. I can tell you. Yeah. I did church this morning and I'm an atheist myself, but I do like playing the organ for them. So, yeah, the vicar was going on about that. I mean, what is actually true wealth? It's not money, is it? Really? I mean, you think of the rich bastards you got around the place. The kids are on drugs and they're getting a heart attack early because they work too hard. They're piling up money. They never get round to spending it because they're dead in no time. No, I'm very, very lucky. I'm probably one of the luckiest people I know, actually. I've got perfect health. I've got a lovely family. I've got a beautiful home. And I've got a super rap career because we do enjoy doing that. And I was thinking of starting an autobiography soon. Um, I don't know if I'll be bothered, to be quite honest, but it's got to be done, isn't it? I think I've had quite an interesting life, and I'm hoping to have a lot more of it still. Uh, but yeah, it would be nice to do an autobiography. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to get it ghost written. So if any of you out there are good at writing books, let me know. And you think you'd buy it? You'd totally buy it, yeah. Well, that'd be quite a good story, really, about how it all came about and the old career and everything with the acting. And I did a bit of acting. I've done some artworks. I've got some art around here. I'll show you. Actually, I've got a few pictures around here. I don't know where you can see all them. There's my old great grandfather's cello up there. He played that in the First World War out at the trenches. Not actually in a trench, obviously, but he played to the troops who'd been in the trenches. And that's called a I don't know what it's called actually. It's like a mandolin ukulele. Mandolele, I think they call it. It's some kind of hybrid. And that was played by my father because he entertained the troops out in the desert in the war. That's one of my pictures up there. And this is a picture. Now that is a really good picture, that one. That is my 9-year-old did that when my little grandson, when he was 9. I think he'd have difficulty in doing that again, actually, because it's a total work of art. What will the title be? Peter, if you can suggest a title to me, I'll be more than grateful. I was trying to think of a title myself, actually. Baz the True Story or something like that. I don't know. What do you reckon? Yeah. Message Health Review. I bet you said something rude. What would the title be, I wonder? Yeah, what would the title be? From rags to riches. Well, it's not really riches, actually. I mean, we're not like rolling in money, not like Elton John. I mean, he's a wealthy bugger, isn't he? He sold all his clothes recently, didn't he? He auctioned the lot. I'd quite like to do the same myself, really, because my wardrobe's totally stuffed full of clothes that I really like. But you get to a stage where you think, well, it would be nice to have a bit of a change. The other change that coming along, by the way, guys, see that? Yeah, little gap there. Gonna have a gold tooth there in a couple of weeks' time. Oh, I am looking forward to that. That's good. Got another one there. Did that one. So I've got this one coming in and it's all on order. It's all coming in the post soon. Uh what other news I got to tell you? I got a little film I got on the go, a little short film. It's a very good film about an old guy sitting on a bench thinking about the regrets that he's had in his life. He keeps regretting stuff and he's not doing much because he keeps thinking about all the things he should have done and could have done. And the devil turns up. The devil turns up and he thinks, oh, Christ, bit problem here. I'm going to get taken off to down there to hell, you see. But no, the devil's just come along to say to him, look, make the most of your life. Get out there, enjoy yourself. Well, we're doing that now, aren't we? We're getting out there. We're old gits, but we're still enjoying ourselves and we're getting out there, having a great time, wonderful life, entertaining a lot of people, having a lot of fun, making idiots of ourselves, which is great. So everybody has a good laugh. So, yeah, we're kind of living the dream, I think. I think we're doing our best to live every day because we don't want to die with the music in us, do we? None of us want to die with the music in us. I think my neighbour over the road never had much of a life, died young. Sad, ain't it? On that very sad note, I better say cheerio to everybody because I expect you're fed up with listening to me. Oh, hello. Oh, God, something from Japan. How good is that? My God. How very nice. Uh, we haven't had any offers for Japan. We had one for China, but that didn't come off because the logistics were a bit complicated. We didn't have a chance to get to Japan. I went to Japan last year anyway on holiday. I had a marvellous time. That was very good, very, very interesting place. Most amazing people. Just incredible. You go along the roads, people. Our friend from Japan would know about this. He'd know about this. There's no litter bins on the street, right? And do you know why? Because people take the litter home. They don't litter bins. They don't need litter bins. Isn't that incredible? Yeah. It's amazing. What else they do? They don't have graffiti on the walls because they're very religious, you see, and they've got a god for everything. So they got the street, they've got a god who looks after the food, they got a god who looks after the sky, and they got a god who looks after the walls. See? So, so nobody's going to write anything on the walls with a graffiti or anything because God will be upset. That's pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. So has our friend from Japan got anything to comment about that? Because they've got so many amazing things that they do in Japan that we don't do. I'll tell you one thing they do a lot in Japan is they live a hell of a long time. And I reckon that's because all the sushi they eat. Is that right? Yeah. Hello, Brandon. Brandon, why do you reckon they live so long in Japan? What's your theory? Clean living, I suppose. Pretty clean living, ain't it? I've never seen so many clean cars. Do you get trucks? You get and obviously cars are just shining. Looks after the vehicles. A vehicle god. A vehicle god who'd be upset if you got a shitty car. How about that? That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Oh, somebody else, Jay Young, he's following me. Oh, shit. I hope he's all right. Yeah. Yeah. Mini trucks. What about it? What about a mini truck? Well, they're clean in Japan as well. Everything is clean. Whatever you see. Another thing they do in China is they have electric bikes, but it's still the roads are absolutely chock a years bad. They're trying to get a grip on it, but unfortunately, the pollution in China I went to was pretty bad. Not quite so bad in Tokyo, funny enough. A lovely story in Tokyo. They had this old guy, right? He was a lecturer in the university, and he had a dog, so he couldn't take the dog to university. So he'd go to the station every day, commuting every day of the week with his dog, and he'd leave his dog at the station. He'd go to work, he'd come back in the evening, and the dog was still there. He'd take it home. But one day, he died. And he didn't come back, and the dog was there. And the dog stayed there waiting for his master to come back. Of course, he wasn't going to come back because he was dead. The dog stayed there. And he stayed there. For 2 years, this dog stayed there. And people were feeding it by this time because they felt sorry for the poor dog who's still waiting for his master to come back. And he wasn't going to come back. In the end, the poor dog died. And they put a little statue up for him now. Isn't that nice thought, wasn't it? Because he became quite famous. And they've got a statue to this dog outside the station there. So he's there forever now. That's a lovely story, isn't it? Yeah, we had a lovely time in Tokyo. We did some sushi making. We did some paper. Made some paper. Made some paper out of some slushy stuff. Rough, rough. Well, that's what the dog did, I suppose. Yeah. We got somebody else. You just come in. You just popped up. Celeb A, Diffley. You popped in just to say that. Well, it's nice of you to say that, mate. Yeah, that's great. Oh, very good. Yeah. Um, Anybody else want to say anything before I sign off? Because I've been chatting on for a bit of ages, talking a load of nonsense. But I have had some interesting comments come back. Message retracted. I wonder what Brandon says he didn't like. Come on, Brandon, out with it. Come on, I can take it. He probably said, Christ, Badge, you're boring my pants off. No? Uh, so what's up, buddy? Well, I've been chatting on. Tell him what's up. Yeah. Oh, we had a lot of comments. Do you know, they're more, isn't it an unfair world? You see, I burn my brains out playing the piano and hardly anybody listens. And now I've been chatting to you lot, talking a lot of nonsense. I've had hundreds of comments. Strange world, isn't it? Oh, happiness for the music, chatting us when we have time. Well, I'm chatting to you really to kind of explain why I can't do the piano for you anymore because it just sounds so crappy. That proper geezer. Yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah. Betting, Pete. Betting, presumably, if you've got any tips, give them to me because I can guarantee if I put any money on shares or lottery or anything, it won't. My wife, they're different. If she buys a lottery ticket, it'll win. Before I go, I've got to talk about this Russia thing. I was watching The Crown yesterday. I don't know whether you've seen Netflix, The Crown. And there's a very sad episode where the Russian royal family are all murdered by the Bolsheviks. And our royalty did nothing to help them. They could have got them out, possibly, and sent a ship to rescue them. They didn't, which was very sad because they were actually cousins of the royal family in Russia. Our royal family and the Russian royal family were very, very close. And I think it's so sad